So here we are, trapped in time, surrounded by evil, low on gas. Leonard Show Speaks, episode 6.
Howdy.
And it's just kind of we're winging it this week.
We're winging it. We got no script, but
So who was it who just died? You just told me. It was somebody from
oh
Star Trek?
fuck, dude. Yeah, Anton Yelchin died. He was Chekhov. He was the new Chekhov in the new
Oh,
Star Trek.
shit, really?
Dude was 27.
Pinned by his car in between his, it was mailbox, him, and then car.
Yes. Which is because okay, and it sucks. First of all, this sucks. I'm a huge fan of this kid. He was in he was the young Kyle Reese in Terminator Salvation,
Oh,
which
okay.
fuck everybody. I fucking loved every bit of that movie. I don't know what all the haters are talking about. There's people who hate Terminator Salvation. They are not to be trusted.
He was in Alpha
Okay.
Dog.
I never got to see Alpha Dog.
Seen that either.
But they did a film adaptation of Odd Thomas, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but it was a really good movie. It was a really quality adaptation, and there's a big reveal that they preserved on film that helped. Did you ever read that?
No.
It's a Dean Koontz book.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Read the book, and then watch the movie, and it's really good.
It's one of those things where like they did it in the book, and it's like, how in the hell are they going to pull this off if they ever make a movie?
Exactly,
And they
because
pulled it off.
you can conceal things in a book more easily than you can on film. Because on film you can see everything. Like
Right.
on Game of Thrones, there's a character that they have kept out of the narrative as long as they possibly can, because in the book there's a large segment of people who are like, I think I know the identity of this person, and there's really no hiding it once the character arrives on screen. So they kept him out of the story for like an additional season. They gave Martin every opportunity. They're like, dude, we got to go because we need cold hands to do this.
Hmm.
And he showed up, and he's who pretty much everybody believed him to be. See, that's the thing, George. When you wait this long, people figure it out. There's the internet. If we don't figure it out on our own, we talk amongst ourselves. We have a freaking conclave, and then we're like, yes, I believe Cold Hands is Benjamin Stark. Turns out,
And I ignore everything. Like everything you just told me, I'll forget on purpose. I'm not remembering any of this. So when I get around to watching Throne Game, I'll be like, maybe when it's happening, I'll go, oh yeah, I vaguely remember something, huh, and just enjoy it. Like I did that with Lost.
yeah, because Lost, I fell out like around the third season because we had just had Lexi,
Hmm.
and I was still physically taping things, like it wasn't the DVR yet.
So here you are being the dad. By the way, Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And yeah, I can understand I would throw you for a loop there.
And so I got a little behind, and then I got a little more behind. And this is before, oh, go online, pay 99 cents, and you can watch the episode you missed. But,
Mhm. It
But then
yeah, it fell apart.
what, Lost?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that show.
You like the whole thing, even after the mid-season break / writer's strike, and then Damon Lindelof took over. Mister, watch me piss all over Prometheus.
Okay, Prometheus is unforgivable. I'm with you there. That was some shit. What is it, LV427?
It was. I watched a thing yesterday about, and literally it was, let us explain Prometheus. Let us explain everything that's going on. I'm like, okay, and almost right off the bat, they're like, David Lindelof didn't destroy this movie. He just came in to polish things up, and it was actually Ridley Scott's dream, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, don't be a fucking apologist. Just don't. Because it's really funny. If that guy's so good and awesome and great, what has he done lately? Nothing that I can think of.
Which guy are we talking
Who?
about here?
Lindoff.
Okay,
Damon Lindoff.
because let me also say, all right, because there were people at last year's Oscars who were pissed that Ridley Scott did not get nominated for Best Director for The Martian. I was not one of those people. Don't get me wrong. The man's a genius. I love him. I think I've loved every movie of his that I've seen, with the obvious exception of Prometheus.
Yeah.
But The Martian, I mean, don't get me wrong, and I love The Martian. It's a great flick. Did you read the book?
No.
Read the book, see the movie. Put those on your must list.
Okay.
The Martian is one of those books where I seriously wanted to take a week's vacation from work and make up a sandwich board with the book cover saying you should. I wanted to be a crazy guy with a sandwich board just going around, dude, you read this book. You don't read, I don't care. Read this, you'll like it. You, what are you reading? What are you reading? Throw that shit away. You don't want that. Read
A
this.
nerd version of what happened in Die Hard 3.
Exactly. And
That movie.
read the books. The funniest thing is, did you know when they filmed it, it was blank?
Oh, really?
That's added in post because they didn't want Bruce Willis to get shot.
Yeah, fucking A, he would have, too.
Yes, he was not in a great neighborhood.
So Damon Lindelof, after he did Prometheus, he did Cowboys and Aliens, which I still haven't seen yet.
I want to watch that movie.
I do
Does that
too.
make sense?
I-
I feel like I should want to watch that movie, and so I want to watch it.
He also did Star Trek Into Darkness. He worked on the World War Z screenplay, and then all of a sudden it falls into comic books. Oh, and Ultimate Wolverine vs. Hulk TV miniseries comic book 6 episodes. Phineas and Ferb story 2 episodes. Tomorrowland screenplay, and The Leftovers.
I enjoyed that movie.
And I said that's one of the things. Since we're sitting here, kind of spitballing it this week, I've been hearing tell about a comic book that I actually want to pick up. It's Visions. It's about the Vision and the Scarlet Witch. They're like married, trying to have. I think it's Scarlet Witch, and they're trying to have like a normal life.
That's written by Tom King, who is a really good writer. I haven't read any of his comics yet, but he wrote a book called A Once Crowded Sky, which I highly recommend.
What's the premise?
The premise is all the superheroes are gone except one. And there was this hero called the Ultimate, and he had a sidekick who was called Pen.
I'm sorry, I'm pointing at my zit. I hate this damn thing.
That's cool. I'm going to call it Ross. It's you and Ross on camera this week. Anyway,
so superheroes are all gone.
I think the superheroes just sacrificed their powers, except for one guy. I forget why. I have to read this book again. And then this danger was coming back, so the heroes, even the ones without their powers, are trying to figure out how to stop it. It's a very cool book. It's prose, but every once in a while there's like a comic page about what happened. And I saw him at C2E2 a few years ago. Dude was a CIA agent.
No way! Like we're talking like undercover kind of shit, or did he?
I don't know exactly what he did, but dude
room?
He wasn't in the mailroom. He was an agent. That's what his bio says. So the guy was a spook, and now he's writing comic books. It's fantastic. He was writing Dick Grayson's solo book, which is just called Grayson. I don't know. He wasn't Nightwing. I didn't read it.
He was a spook, huh? So he didn't write Black. Let it sink in. Yeah.
Ow.
Because I think episode 3 or episode 4, I titled it. He doesn't draw Black.
So Tom King, super cool dude, and I've heard good things about Visions.
Oh yeah. They were talking about in the Geek Show podcast, and almost every week. But Carrie, the host of is just like, the first panel is this, and then it cuts scene, and it's like, what does this have to do with anything else? And at the very end, it wraps around to the beginning.
That sounds like how he writes. Yeah,
That
sounds familiar.
Yeah, it pulls an Nth Man on you. God, that was another great series.
And man, that was 16 issues of bliss. And you know why? Because they follow. Because he didn't let it. He didn't let it go out and be forgotten. I mean, clearly, at some point they're saying, "Dude, this book's not going to last." So he's like, "Okay, we jump forward in time a whole year," and they wrap the story up.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, it's done. Cut short too fast, but it was Larry Hama wrote it.
That was Larry Hama. I totally
That was
forgot about
it.
that.
Was Larry Hama, and it was run. It was one of the
Lee
RWs.
Weeks. Lee Weeks did the artwork.
It was Lee
I'm
Weeks.
pretty sure it was Lee Weeks.
Okay,
I will consult
was
the armaments.
it was one of the guys that it was a guy that had done art on GI Joe. I thought it was one of the RWs, either Ron Wagner or the other RW.
I'm looking it up here. Comic book about American Ninja, blah, blah, blah. Fuck, you got me again, Ron Wagner. Hama was able to resolve the storyline early. Ron Wagner, who penciled the series for its entire run, attributes its commercial failure to its being set in a standalone universe instead of the popular Marvel universe. You just schooled me again. This is why you're Leonard Cho. This is why we're here.
Oh God, Ron Wagner was seriously my god. He's probably cause I read, GI Joe was my favorite book.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's probably the biggest influence on the way I draw.
And it really, it shows through.
When I ever freaking draw anything, I don't know the last thing I did. I set this here next to the computer. I'm hoping something inspires me, but
I just doodle. I like picking
Yeah.
up pens. I like finding different types of pens around the office.
that's cool.
And just screwing around with different gel pens and this type of pen and I'll find one that I like, and then it's like impossible to find. And then so next thing I'm going through a secretary's desk stealing
You
all of her
see
pens.
that at all?
Oh yeah, totally.
It's like a man. I'm going to be playing a Star Wars role playing game.
Ooh.
So I don't know if you can make out the fine detail, but on his chest there's like a Mandalorian breastplate. He's like a Mandalorian mercenary, but he's like got a mid-length trench coat
Mm-hmm.
over his armor, and he's got basically like a Star Wars version of a submachine gun under there. Something, and he just kind of slings it out and goes all commando and shit. It's
Nice. Speaking of Star Wars, there's
Yes.
something else I have. In fact, and the background picture I chose for this particular episode just says Star Wars because I was like, well, push comes to shove.
So yeah, we better talk about something
We'll just talk about Star Wars. Or we can just ramble on like we normally do.
or that.
And I'm hoping, so we're on Stitcher right now. I'm redoing the feed, and I'm hoping iTunes, like, it's been a week. I'm just waiting for the approval. Then I have all sorts of plans. I'm building an empire. I want to quit my fucking job. Rogue One.
There's BB-8.
Oh, nice! Your stuff, you're always very in proportion. Even that last picture we saw. Very in proportion. You never have a problem with that. My stuff's always all over the place.
I don't have a problem with that on the stuff I show you. There's a couple in there that I would not hold up to a camera. I'm like, no.
So, Rogue One.
Yeah.
John Williams' last Star Wars movie.
What?
Yeah, he's come out and said, this is the last one I'm doing. The guy's
It's-
84 years old.
Wait, it's not gonna be Rogue One though. He's gonna do Episode 8
Oh, okay.
because Rogue One is some other guy. Rogue One is actually going to be the first Star Wars flick outside of Clone Wars because I don't count that horse shit. But outside of,
You didn't like Clone Wars?
I did not. The CG Clone Wars, the Genndy Tartakovsky ones, I loved.
Yeah, I've watched some of the CG ones. I'm kind of digging them. I haven't seen them all. I've seen maybe 7-8 episodes.
They fell into. Okay, here's the thing, because you've got. I hate it when you do a side project that if you consider it and if you throw it in canon, it kind of undercuts your main project. Here's what I mean. In Episode 3, Grievous, well, on film they couldn't really decide if Grievous was like super badass or a coward. They kind of framed him both ways. But when Obi-Wan takes him out, that's supposed to be a big deal. It's supposed to be an accomplishment. So when Clone Wars started out, and I'm watching some of this, every time some other Jedi would fight Grievous to a standstill and Grievous runs away, it makes what Obi-Wan did a little less cool. Every time someone else gives Grievous a run for his money, Obi-Wan all of a sudden is less special, and I'm not cool with that because Obi-Wan's my boy. I have heard good things.
Fucking Jedi.
I'm thinking about. I really want to watch the last two seasons or season and a half, because from what my buddy Josh tells me, the show got awesome, and it's a straight up war show. And his kids haven't seen the last season because it got very real in the
Wow.
last season. So I'm
In
like,
other words, main characters probably died.
yeah, not Ahsoka though.
Which one is she?
The one that Anakin was training, the apprentice. He called her Snips. Wow. And she called him Sky Guy. Gosh, how did I not like this show? I don't know. It's all coming back to me now.
Let's talk about Luke and Ray. Rumor has it they're not related.
Really?
Have you heard that one?
I have not. I deliberately try to not hear things.
And I just ruined something for you. Oh my god, and it's probably totally fucking fake. So
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, after a little while, after the first few weeks that Star Wars was in theater, and there were all the different theories. You know what? I just put my money on her being Luke's daughter.
that's where I'm
That,
parking my car.
that's where I'm parked. I'm not saying no. I know because of this, even though musically it's the Skywalker lightsaber that calls to her. Musically, she is Luke's child. The Force theme plays and all that, but it just for simplicity's sake, I like the Kenobi theory. I think that's kind of
What's the
groovy.
Kenobi theory?
The Kenobi theory is that sometime in the time between Episode 3 and the original Star Wars, Kenobi got him a little son and fathered a child, and Rey is his grandchild.
Oh,
And the people behind this theory explain her connection to the Skywalker lightsaber as, that was sitting in Obi-Wan's, case for a couple of decades before he gave it to Luke. So, I mean, it's nifty. That would be fun. If you're going to do that, I think it would have been a good idea to have the Kenobi solo movie between 7 and 8 to kind of lay the groundwork for that. It's funny. There's a lot in the Force Awakens where I'm honestly not a lot. There's two things that I'm honestly not sure if they're deliberately being tantalizing, like dangling little breadcrumbs for you,
mm-hmm.
or if it was lazy writing. Like if they're
Ooh.
sitting there, because okay, here we go. There's
This is why we do this. This is it. This is
this,
exactly what we're looking for. Yes.
this is why we do this. So they're sitting in Maz's cantina, and Ray and Finn went to try to get passage to the Outer Rim, and Ray goes after him, saying, "You can't." I love her, but anyway,
Her action figure
so
supposedly is worth a lot because I mean it was printed. They made just as many as all the other ones, but it's powerful female character, and I guess it just flew off the shelf.
yeah, there was all. Oh God, and you know what annoyed the shit out of me? There was all that bullshit because there was a Star Wars Monopoly that came with. There was a new one for the Force Awakens.
Hmm.
It came with Luke and Vader, and it came with Kylo Ren and Finn, and all these fucking people were up in arms, like, "Oh, why didn't it come with Ray?" And "Oh, this is a slight against women." Will you fucking people shut up?
You don't want to play a game that has to do with money and let a woman involved. Oh, I just said that. Anyway, so
No,
she
that's not.
says,
But first of all, the toy companies didn't know where Ray's story
nobody
was
did.
ending up
Yeah.
because you'll notice Ray's action figure does not come with a lightsaber. And that moment when Kylo Ren tries to call the lightsaber to himself and it goes to her instead,
Hmm.
that's like one of the best surprises ever in a
Yes.
theater. It's awesome. So
She's
anything that preserves that moment, keeping people in the dark, is fine. And there was a 3 3/4 inch Ray figure. There was a 6 inch Ray figure. There has always been Star Wars is. Don't get me wrong, it's not great, but Star Wars has always been one of the best places where there's also the female action figures. There's always a Princess Leia action figure.
yeah.
So everyone just get off your high horse for a second. Don't bash on Star Wars. I get your issue. You've got a valid beef. It's not with Star Wars.
It's with the
And
game company. They didn't know.
exactly. They
It's
weren't
like,
telling anyone anything.
so we have these characters, and I guess that one looks cool, that one looks cool, that one looks like it might be someone. We'll just kind of throw them all
And then
in there.
eventually they had the trailer that showed Finn with the lightsaber. So I'm like, oh, cool. It's going to be a brother as a Jedi. That's cool. So they had that, and everyone shut up.
But anyway, so in the scene
I'm
at,
going to say something else.
Maz's
Sorry.
place, there's
Right.
another
They're
tangent.
sitting in Maz's place. Finn and Ray have left the table, and Maz turns to Han. Who's the girl?
Mm-hmm.
Because you've gotten the impression that Han might have at least a strong suspicion of who this girl that he's come across is. And then they cut away.
But
And we
also,
don't,
Maz said in there, I've seen enough people, I can look in someone's eyes, and I got a rough idea where they're coming from.
exactly. And then later, after Ray has the vision with the lightsaber, and Ray runs off, so Maz gives the lightsaber to Finn, and Han just locks eyes on it, and he's like, "Where did you get that?" And this is the biggest one. She's like, "A good question. For another time." I get the feeling like Kasdan and Abrams were sitting there. Okay, so how did she get the lightsaber? Because did you hear about the original opening of the film?
No.
Originally, the film was going to open on Luke's severed hand floating through space,
my
still
God.
holding the lightsaber. And it was gonna, I don't know, make Planet Fall or something wherever she was. That would have been profoundly bad. But
Yeah.
I just picture Abrams and Kasdan sitting around hashing this thing out. Like, okay, so we want the lightsaber to play a part, right? We want her to get. Okay, so where does she get it? Because the last we saw it, it went down the shaft at Bespin. So Abrams sitting there, Larry, how do we get that in there? Larry's like, I don't know. Fuck it. That's Ryan's problem. He's doing episode 8. We'll let him worry about that shit. She's just got the lightsaber. How? We'll tell you that story another time.
So your problem, because you had two problems.
Yes. Did I?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And we tangent.
Oh, the two things that might have been lazy writing.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
One
That was one.
That's the biggest one. The other one is where she turns to Han, who's the girl? And they just kind of cut away.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Now, the other day I was talking to the girl here, and we were talking about Star Wars, and I go, you know what the thing is? It's a dumb movie. It's when you said, and what brought it up, and when I say dumb movie, I mean like it treats the audience like they're a bunch of fucking idiots. Because when you first see Vader, big firefight happens. There's a guy, 8.5 feet tall, dressed in all black, walks in. It's like, this is the bad guy. Look, bad guy.
yes.
That's what I'm saying with the music. The Skywalker music's playing. It's like that harkens back to the very first fucking opening scene of bad guy, music, Skywalker. It's like
And it's yeah. It's so
she's
funny.
a fucking Skywalker.
The original Star Wars is like a huge Jenga tower. It's Jenga tower being struck by lightning inside a bottle. Because if you remove any one critical component, I mean, everyone falls all over the. I loved. What was it? I think it was one of those big oversized like Time Life type books. It was like, there were all these essential guides, essential guide to weapons, essential guide to this, essential guide to that. One of them, I forget which one, but the author, because everyone says, "Oh, thank you, George Lucas, you are so wonderful."
Yeah, it's a
But I
movie
love
called
that this
Hidden
author-
Fortress, by the way.
This author took a second to thank John Williams, John Dykstra, Ben Burt. You remove any of those components, you slip any of those blocks out of the Jenga tower, it all comes crashing down. If John Williams doesn't do the music, we never see that movie. It fails. It opens in limited theaters. It fails. Maybe we catch it late night on Channel 2, when on one of the nights they're not playing Hawk the Slayer. If Ben Burt doesn't do the sound, if Ben Burt doesn't design the sound, then we don't spend our childhood going,
Pew, 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 pew.
I'm sorry. And not only that, but Star Wars also is the movie that fascinated me with looking behind the scenes. I remember one of the earliest things, they showed Ben Burt with his little microphone and he put it on the high tension telephone wire and he was hitting it with the hammer to get the pew, pew sound.
He was like in a deli or something like that, and he went to go grab a Coke out of a machine, and the fan was broken. It was like, and he went, "Do you mind if I record that real quick?" And that became the TIE Fighter.
And there were, oh God, there's getting ready for episode 1, they showed he had like an aluminum saucepan, and he took his electric shaver and he just ran it along the saucepan, and he's like, "Yeah, I use this for like the anti-gravity tank or some shit." It was
Oh
awesome.
my god.
That guy's a genius.
I've been doing some editing with this other thing that I'm working on, and I haven't gotten into sound too much. I've gotten into it to some extent as far as voice work goes, and as far as programs that can change your voice, and then how a conversation flows, and how like
All
as
the
you're
Earthbase
talking,
belong to us.
people like kind of almost always talk over each other. Like as you're ending, you're saying something, the next person can't wait till they get in and have their thing to say, especially when it's like a presidential debate. Um, and I had somebody listen to just soundtracks. I don't have the actual shots done yet. Hopefully today. And then editing. Fuck. And and I've got it all laid out though. It should go quick, which means it'll take fucking 2 weeks. And you'll look at it and go, yeah, it was mildly entertaining. I'm like, you know how much fucking work anyway. I had somebody at work listen to it. I was like, I have the sound done, and the guy's problem was he goes, there's too many gaps in between conversation. And I go, there is seemingly this way, but when you've got up close, face shots of somebody like looking around or whatever, hey, what was that? Or what was that? All of a sudden, you need those spaces.
Okay.
We'll see if that holds true or not. I think it does, and you're right. And this all ties in with all those little components, all those little things. Wrap it all together, and shit you don't even recognize. Just crap in the
Exactly.
background. You're breaking somebody's arm. You know what they do in a Foley studio? They get celery and crack celery, and that's the sound of somebody's arm breaking.
Yeah.
Except carrots. When you bite into a carrot, nothing
Uh-huh.
else makes that sound except a carrot. And Mel Blanc hated carrots, and Mel Blanc did the voice of Bugs Bunny.
Oh, fuck.
He used to have
I
to bite into
loved
carrots and chew on them, and then he would spit them out after the take.
there was a documentary about the guys who do voice acting, and they talked about it, it's on Netflix. Fuck, I forget the name of it. I want to name drop. I swear to God, I'm just getting old, and so I can't, in the flow of conversation, come up with these. But it was all about the voice actors, and like they'll be out with, they'll meet someone or be like, hey, I can say, hey, what's up, Doc? Sounds just like Bugs Bunny, and they're like, well, yeah, but can you read Shakespeare as Bugs Bunny? Because I've had to do that.
You have?
Where they
Oh,
not
they're
me.
saying
They,
that. Yeah.
the yeah. I'm sorry. I was in character as the voice actor.
Ooh.
I should have gotten into voice acting.
Dude, it's fun. Just record yourself. I slip into these. I slip in because I'm fucking crazy because my job's driving me nuts and I work nights. So like I don't know how in the hell I catnapped earlier. So I guess I'm kind of sort of still going, but I'm not firing. I'm not firing on all six cylinders. I'm firing either seven. I think actually I'm more like five cylinders at this point. And well, the girl will be here and I'll say something and it'll trigger like a line from a movie. Next thing I know, I'm like, she's sitting there looking at me, and I'm having this conversation with myself in two different voices,
I
and
do that.
she's like, "What is?" I'm like, I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things. You see, because we did bring him over here from the old country. Old country, my ass, son. What are you talking about? That's America, And then
Work.
I'm gone. Then I got a Nazi who kidnapped a hillbilly and brought him back, and then it's yeah. But
Knock knock.
who's there?
The SS.
ZSS.
We will ask the questions here. Sorry. I love that one.
So we started off. It was good. So we started off with. I'm trying to. I'm not even fucking taking notes. Usually, as we're like talking, I'm like, okay, kind of remember that. Remember that. Okay. Two things brought those out, which reminded me of the whole George Lucas is like, audience is kind of dumb. I think what I'm going to have to do is get the bad guy. Just, just make him black, all black, and we should be good to go. Everybody should know he's a bad guy. Now,
Black is Night. Nubian God.
yeah,
I know that voice is what it was called. I know
I
that
know that
voice.
voice. Okay, let me write that down. Oh, and I was
And
that
for all you
was
kids listening at home, check it out. It's a great documentary.
YouTube Mel Blanc interview on David Letterman.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he's bouncing in and out of voices the whole fucking conversation. It's great.
My absolute favorite thing ever was after Mel Blanc died, and someone, the piece was it was called. What killed me was the title. It was called Speechless, and it was just all the Looney Tunes that he did the voice for, just in mourning, eyes
That
closed,
is a
head
great
bowed.
fucking picture.
It's
Yes.
the greatest fucking thing ever.
He was the
It's up
man.
there. It's up there with like, and it's so weird to cross styles like this. But did you ever see what Alex Ross did for September 11th? It's a riff on an old. There was a Legion of Superheroes cover or something where Superboy was looking up at a picture of all the heroes. So it was Alex Ross. You know his style.
Oh, yeah.
Superman, you see Superman from behind, and Krypto is sitting there next to him, and Superman is looking up at all the heroes of 9/11, at policemen. It's a mural of policemen, firefighters, airline pilots, and all that stuff.
Yep, I just saw it. I just found
and
it.
he's looking up at them, saying, "Wow," and
Yeah.
that was really great.
There's Cryptos there. That's a really kick-ass picture. God, Alex
My
Ross.
other always reminds me of my other favorite Alex Ross. Have you ever seen his Aquaman? Oh my God, it's the best. Quick search Alex Ross Aquaman, and you might be feasted to the visual treat. It's in the foreground
This
is
isn't one
like
of those tricks where like, I'm going to go there and there's going to be one dude with like a fish
I
condom and
no, I am not
okay.
rickrolling you.
Never kind of gave you.
In the foreground, it's guys on a whaling ship, like looking in terror, and
Yes, I found it. And he's
yeah,
standing on the whale.
and just the way he's holding the harpoon,
Mm-hmm.
and all of the sea life is like, you done fucked up, son.
That
We ain't
is.
having this shit no more.
I never was a big Aquaman fan.
Did you ever watch The State?
Thank you. Yes, everybody was all about Strangers with Candy, not Strangers with Candy.
Kids in the Hall?
Kids in the Hall, and I was always like sitting there going, "Did you guys ever watch this State? It's like way better. This meat, it's blue and squishy. What is it? Oh, it's Muppet." Yeah, I fucking
But
love the State.
did you ever see their Super Friends skit?
I did. I can't recall it off the top of my head, but I
It's
know
where,
I've seen it because I was watching them just a couple weeks ago. I had a run of them
oh
going.
God, and I forget the big Italian guy. He's still he's still working, still acting, he's in everything. But he had the Superman costume that he would use every once in a while. So they all run in, and he's like, "All right, uh, Wonder Woman, you go and rescue the senator who's been abducted. Batman and Robin, you go save the kids from the burning building. I'll go stop the nuclear weapons that have already been launched." And he adjusts his crotch. Aquaman, you go talk
To
to
the
some
fish.
fish. I don't know. And everyone's laughing. And I think it was Michael Ian Black as Aquaman. He says, "Shut up. Shut up."
Yeah, but and he, Alex Ross makes him so fucking gallant, and just like, and there was a game called Infinite Crisis that I used to play, and then funding got cut, and it's Dutch and I refer to it as our lost dead stepchild.
Oh,
And
because that's the one it went. It was you could play it for free after a while,
oh
right?
well, yeah, it was free. I spent $250 on the game though because I managed. I would play it and then I'd get my ass kicked by somebody. I'm like, well, fuck, I need to buy that character. How much are they? $10. Fuck it, let's go. Then I get good at the character. Then I'm like, oh, they have alternate costumes. I must have those costumes. It got bad, and
The way you are with that's how I am with the X-wing miniatures game. I'm like, ooh, new ships are out. That can do a speed 2 Talon roll. I need 3 of those. They're $50 a piece.
And next thing you know, you're going, oh, honey, yeah. Do we have any food? Well, I have to go grocery. Why? Okay.
You know what honey? You know what I'm in the
ramen
mood
everywhere.
Ramen. I just had a hankering for some ramen lately. You don't want me to fry you up some burger? No, ramen.
Ramen every
Ramen.
night, probably for the next couple weeks.
We could spice it up with a little mac and cheese every now and then.
Nah, I get the stuff that's already pre-made in the little cuppy there for 99
No, that's more
cents.
expensive. You got to get the mix. Then you stash it and just dole it
Oh.
out. Nuke it for like 30 seconds.
Mix in some tuna when you're feeling extra special. But that's me. I like that. Oh, shut up. Anyway, The Aquaman character in that game absolutely kicked ass. I never got him down. That was one regret. He was like in my cycle of characters to learn, but I was like fucking deadly with Harley Quinn. Just absolutely deadly. Speaking of Harley Quinn, what's going on? What have you heard about Suicide Squad? Anything?
Nothing since the reshoots. Did
Okay.
you hear about that whole thing?
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
they brought in James Gunn to cut them a trailer. I believe it's the Bohemian Rhapsody one because the music is very prominent.
Mm.
This reminds you of James Gunn, and because this is when Batman v Superman, you know, disappointed pretty much everyone, and so he came in and he cut a trailer that had a lot of jokes, and the story I've heard is that yeah, it had a lot of jokes, and people are like, "Oh, this is funny." Apparently, he used every
Every
joke
joke.
in the fucking film in his trailer. So Warner Brothers like, "Oh, we gotta film more jokes. We gotta lighten this thing up."
Oh man. I have one
Grim
more
and
thing down
gritty is
here.
not helping us.
I covered Visions I want to talk about.
Yep.
Oh, so what comics are you reading? Like, if we're, let's say I walk into a comic book store, and well, are you really reading any comics these days? Because I think you said you really aren't.
Month to month, I get the Walking and I don't okay because I've started most of my comic reading. I'm catching up at stuff at the local library. Like I said, boy in a budget. And this is coupled with the fact that every image book I read makes me feel like I should be reading every image book there is. Because it's just kind of this creator's paradise nowadays. Like, it's creator owned, but we do the heavy lifting profit, as far as, putting out. And they're like, and if it sells, we keep going and everybody makes money. That's how I don't know the ins and outs of their business model, but that's what it seems like.
Well,
And
20 years ago they did that. Strangers in Paradise, independent book picked up by Image. Bone
yeah,
by Jeff Smith. You've read Bone, right? Dude, I got the fucking omnibus. It's like 1,200 pages. It's like this fucking thick.
I'll
And,
put it, I'll,
and gather the girls around. It's a kid friendly book. Anytime.
this is my Steve Rogers impression. I'll put it on the list. Here we go. But,
Oh, Bone
yes,
is phenomenal. Oh,
it's one of those books. I've read a little bit of Cerberus, but not much.
300
Um,
issues, and I picked up the last issue. We were having a bad movie night at Atomic Comics in Chandler. I didn't work for them at the time, and I remember walking around the store waiting for the movie to start. I think the movie that night may have been The Apple. No, Knights of the City. Knight. It's a dance fight movie. I love dance fight movies.
okay.
It's a weird 1984 obscure flick. And I'm walking down the aisles and I see Cerebus 300 and I was like, get the fuck out of here. And I read it and yeah, sure as shit, man. Dave Sim did exactly what he said. He fucking dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Um,
Fucking
so anyway,
nerds.
month to month, and
Yeah.
it's such a fucking joke for me to buy books month to month. I've got like at least 12 issues of Saga that I have to sit down and plow through.
I heard that's a great book.
That is the greatest fucking book. Oh my god, I love that book. It is fucking beautiful, man. I have fucking wept while reading Saga. Okay,
Oh,
because
nice. Yeah.
my buddy Josh gave me the no, I fucking teared up at a panel that a friend of mine posted on Facebook of two characters reuniting. I won't say anything so I don't spoil anything for anyone. But two characters reuniting who were separated and they reunite, and I'm just like, it's awesome. That is awesome. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. But so anyway, the books I get month to month are Walking Dead, Saga, and a book called Birthright. It's an image book. I've got to catch up on that too. Um, it's okay. The book, on the cover is like a little boy in a fantasy setting, and so okay. Let me see if I can run down the first issue fast enough for you. Hang on, strap in. This
20,
book takes some turns.
22 pages.
They're getting ready. It's this guy. He's playing in the forest preserve. He's playing catch with his two sons. He's on the phone with his wife because they are setting up for the younger son's surprise birthday party. So he's got them out of the house so they can come back and the kid's like, come on, Dad, throw the ball. And he's like, all right, well, go catch this one because he wants to talk to the wife and finalize plans. So he throws the ball really far. The ball goes into the woods. The kid goes chasing after it, and he's talking to the wife, and he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, we got everything set. Okay, good. I'm gonna get. Where the hell is he? Because he should have been back by now. So the guy goes looking. The kid is gone. The kid is just gone.
I thought you were going to say like he threw it and it went into the street and the kid ran out after it. And...
No, even better. So the kid is missing. The older brother is there. The older brother, no, it was just the guy and the younger kid because the older son was with the mom helping set up the party. So the guy and his kid were alone. The kid walked into the trees, disappeared. No one can find him. Before too long, suspicion turns on the old man. People are saying this guy killed his kid on the day of his birthday. It's a whole Casey Anthony thing. Mm-hmm. Before too long, then you cut to a year later, and you're there with the mom. They have since divorced, and she gets a call, because, every news outlet was saying, did he kill his son? And she kind of started to wonder, and that's where their relationship ended. So,
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets a call from the police saying, we need you to come down to the station. We're holding a man who claims to be your son. A man. Gets down there, big, buff, long black hair, black beard, Conan-looking motherfucker. Is there, and he had all these weapons on him. AKs? Sig Sauers? No. Swords, axes, knives. The kid fell into a parallel dimension or something.
Holy shit.
And he's been living he came up and had to become like a great warrior just to survive. But now the prince match, but nobody believes it because this kid disappeared a year ago, and now this buff dude who's like 25 is claiming to be him, and the father is like, see, I told you I did. And then so the guy's telling the story how he was the chosen one to defeat this great dark lord, and so now he's back and he has to stop bad things from happening. But then what sold me on the book, the very last page is the kid, now grown as this warrior, is there by himself, and this demonic energy is over his shoulder talking to him saying, remember your pact, little one. Remember the deal you made. He was the chosen one, but he couldn't do it, so he made a deal with the devil to get sent home.
It's called Birthright?
It's called Birthright.
Oh, I'm fucking writing that down.
While you're writing that down, write down Spread. I've told you about
this is a family-friendly kind of thing we're doing.
No. Spread is this alien virus that's taking over the... Okay.
So am I.
You remember John Carpenter's The Thing, right?
Real Booze episode 2, which will be podcast, which will be back alive at some point here shortly. Yeah, I know that movie inside and out.
So you remember the crazy creature effects that were in there, like all the different forms the thing took, right?
Yep.
Look at me, Kenneth. Dial that shit up to 11, and that's Spread. It's this alien virus that's like taking people over and mutating them. Okay, here's what sold me on the book. And this is the reason Dawn wouldn't even look at it when I wanted to show it to her, because I told her about it. So the main character is like, he's got one of the infected on him. And so I'm the infected guy, right? And I'm like right in your face, and you're like barely holding me off. And all of a sudden my eyes become little mouths, and they pop out and they start trying to snap at your face. It's the greatest fucking book ever.
They're like evil little Pac-Man.
I met the guys at C2E2, and like most guys who do the most demented shit you're ever going to see, they look so normal.
Yeah.
They look like guys you would just sit next to at the bar and just be like, hey, dude, let's
see the game? Nah, I missed it. I was writing this storyline about these eyes that pop out of this guy's noggin and have teeth all of a sudden.
And that's like in the first few pages. The shit just cranks up from there. It's awesome. Spread. Volume 1 and 2 are out in trade paperback.
Oh, awesome. Definitely have those written down. So I think whenever we run into these episodes and we really don't have any direction, I'll just be like, so what are you reading from the library, and why are you reading it, and have you read this, and why not? So awesome. Well, we're like this 43 minutes. It could be a short one. I don't
Yeah,
know.
this is good.
Movies? Anything else?
Movies, I really want to see The Conjuring 2. I haven't even seen a trailer because I enjoyed The Conjuring, but trailer movie pardon me, horror movie trailers are what comedy trailers were for a while. They're showing me all the best scares. Like in the trailer, and I'm like, well, fuck, because I saw the first Conjuring and I thought it was a really cool movie, but it didn't scare me very much because all the really scary shit you showed me in the trailer. And you and me, we grew up, when we were kids, we had to wait 3 years for a movie to come out on video.
And
And
half the goddamn time you'd watch the trailer for the movie, and the stuff that you saw was really cool wasn't in the movie.
exactly, but where did we get to see trailers? We got to see trailers at the movie theater,
And
where there
before
was,
VHS tapes, like
and before VHS, and then
yeah,
there
before
was
the movie
coming
started.
attractions on E, like when we
No,
were in our
E
late
didn't
teens.
exist. It was on either HBO or Showtime.
One of those,
Yeah.
right? So from a young age, I learned, I'm like, okay, this is the one chance I'm going to get to watch this trailer. So Dawn occasionally just marvels at my ability to have something flashed at me in a trailer, and I'm like, oh yeah. And I remember when we saw the trailer for Iron Man, for the first Iron Man, I'm like, oh, and Jeff Bridges, Obadiah Stane, he looks awesome. And she's like, well, wait a minute. Where was Jeff Bridges in what we just watched?
Where did you see him at?
Because there's a shot of him like looking up at the Ironmonger armor. So one, he's bald, so he's virtually unrecognizable. Two, it's like here's Jeff Bridges, and it goes off, and
Hmm.
that's how fast it was. But I'm like, I saw him, recognized him. He's got his head shaved. He's Obadiah Stane. Oh my god, that looks awesome.
There's like 36 frames, and you looked at all those. You saw each and every one, and went, "Oh, he's got a new gray hair in his eyebrow there. Did you notice that? Did you see that? And on his left one, he must
Yeah,
have been
or
dying the
I
right
think
one.
maybe he's had some work done because there's a couple wrinkles. Not, so
I have a map of Jeff Bridges' wrinkled face, which really isn't that wrinkled, but it's a bit scraggly, in my head, like a topographical map.
So yeah, The Conjuring 2 I really want to see because I'm confident everyone's talking about it like this movie is insane and I want to see it. I haven't seen any trailer. And there was the Poltergeist remake. And
Oh, whoa, yeah. How
I
about that?
well, I don't know because I haven't seen the movie because I watched the trailer on my phone and they play like the entire sequence with the fucking clown doll. And I'm like, "My god, that probably would have scared the living shit out of me
I've
if
seen
I
it.
hadn't just been sitting there watching it on my phone."
I've
What
seen it.
is it good?
It is. I think the girl's coming home. She's unlocking the door. Um,
We hope.
we hope that's who's unlocking the door. Plus, there was a text message that came in. It is all the cool things you can think about Poltergeist.
Uh-huh.
1982, great movie, completely destroyed by E.T. I will say that a lot because a lot of really good movies came out in 1982 and were fucking destroyed by that little child molesting, dope smoking, fucking AIDS spreading thing from outer space.
Ah.
There was a thing on the internet I saw, it was from Cracked, and it was on YouTube, and it was scariest space aliens, and they were like, oh, the alien, oh, the predator, and somebody else said some other alien, oh, it was like Signs or some shit, and then person was like, no, the last guy's like E.T., and I'm like, fuck, people didn't jump on my bandwagon, bring it on, but the guys totally didn't go as deep as I do. And I was like, oh yeah, Poltergeist. So the remake, oh, you can close the door, don't worry about it, make all the noise you want. And that's not sarcasm. That's what? No, the camera's right here. You're fine.
Tell her I said hi.
Oh, one just says hi. And there it is. Shirt comes off because she just walks in. You know how most guys come home and take the pants off and walk around the house.
Yep.
I wish that would happen. Yeah. Anyway, Poltergeist, the remake, is every good scene you can think of in the original crammed into the first half hour,
Really?
45 minutes.
Okay.
And it was rushed. It was, hey guys, remember that scene with the clown? Here it is. Hey guys, remember that scene where the tree attacked them? Here it is. It was just like constantly just pandering, and then they get this fucking. They don't have the creepy old lady. They got this douchebag, and it was. I would have done it completely different. That's just me. I would have harkened back to those things, but only touched on him. You know, like made like you would have seen the clown in the background, and the entire time you're watching the movie, you're like, that fucker's gonna come to life and it's gonna fucking strangle and murder them all, and it would never happen. If I were making a movie, it would never fucking happen. But the entire time you're expecting it.
You would give me Doll Clown Blue
I would
Balls?
fucking blue balls the shit out of you. Hell yeah.
That's
But those little homages,
it's either
those,
madness or brilliance. I can't
it's,
imagine. I can't decide which.
it'll piss off a lot of people, but I think it'd be fun to do. And I'd just be like, haha, you were expecting that, were you? Yeah, so was fucking everybody else. That's why I did this other thing. That's why all the fish in the aquarium came to life and then jumped out of people's eyes with little teeth. That's a
Okay.
fucked up idea, dude.
It
That's like,
is.
that's taking the head separated from the body, sprouting spider legs, and you gotta be shitting me. To like, and then the little antenna eyes come up to like the next fucking level. So
From
spread.
last year, did you ever get to see It Follows?
It follows.
It
It
Follows.
follows. No, is that a sequel to it?
No, it's basically the demonic entity is like an STD. Like you pass it along by who you last had sex with, and then it follows you. The whole thing's an allegory for an STD, but seriously, check that flick out.
I'm
It
gonna.
is like it's like vintage Carpenter. Like even down to the musical score, the way it's shot, everything. It is so just it's not like jump out and scare you. It's just so fucking creepy and the dread that you're feeling. And because seriously, I went to see it with my buddy Josh,
Mm-hmm.
because he too loves horror movies. Uh, and so we were leaving the theater, and I got in my car and I started it up, and it was cold, so I'm letting it warm up. And yeah, I just looked over my shoulder, make sure there was no one creepy back there, and everything was good. That's it. I just bought it used at the video store because the wife and I are gonna sit down and watch that one.
It's
She's gonna dig it.
fucking. I got. Fuck you, man. I got like three. I have four fucking things sitting here
You're
to follow
welcome.
up on, jerk. Well, I'll give you one more and then we'll call it. I posted a
Okay.
clip the other day on both my YouTube, my Facebooks, and it was called Thresher, I think. It's a short movie. We watched it at work, and then now you understand it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, now granted, there's four of us in the data center. The data center is the size of three football fields. All I can tell you is it's like these rooms. I'm convinced the place is fucking haunted. We get new guys, and I'm like, if you walk down this aisle, you'll see this big room, and there's glass, and I can't. It's a fucking secure environment, so I can't really take pictures to kind of explain it how fucking creepy that fucking place gets. And we watch, and I had to go into one of the creepy rooms where you go into the room, and it's big. I mean, it's like, I don't, footage wise, what, 50 feet by 100 feet, let's say. So when you get in, you have to go up a ramp because it's elevated 3 feet off the ground because there's all this piping and shit, this cooling system all underneath it. And there's floor tiles that are like, we have to get down underneath that shit sometimes to fuck with some things. And the floor tiles are like 18 by 18 or 24 by 24, but there's two in that room that are clear. So you're standing there, you can look 3 feet down because there's like
Okay.
maintenance shit there. So like, well, somebody will start work, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, go into server room C, and have you seen a clear? You've been in C before, and they'll be like, well, yeah, I went through that the other day. Okay, there's the occasional clear tile that you'll see, and if you see the girl scratching and mouthing the words "help me," just ignore her. Don't worry, she's there all the time. And they're like, what? I go, yeah. And then if you're walking back down this other hallway, and you'll see a room with all the battery backups, if you see a kid in there with a lollipop, he's harmless. If his eyes turn red, walk a little bit faster. But when he starts saying, "Where are you going, Mister?" Run. And everybody there's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I'm like, this place creeps me out, and all I do is
Oh
think of
God,
horror.
the I saw the link you shared on what I talked about, the two sentence horror stories.
Oh,
I fucking love those. My absolute favorite was there's a picture in my phone of me sleeping. I live alone.
my favorite one is, I don't remember exactly how it goes, but the kid's like, "Daddy, there's a monster under my bed," and the daddy looks underneath the bed, and it says, "Daddy, there's a monster on my bed." And
Yeah.
yeah,
And
so
another him
uh,
says, yeah.
yeah, that one just fucking. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm out. See you, bye." So anyway, so we watched this movie. It's a short film. It's on YouTube. I think it's called Thresher. And then I had to go into that fucking server room. And
All
I'm
right,
like, God damn it! I think it's called Thresher. Let me real quick. I'll post it as a link.
cool.
Thresher. Oh, there it is. Thresher, a horror short by Mike Diva. Posted a year ago. It only has 525,000 views. So let's see if we can get that up over 2 million. All right, sir. Another good
Thresher.
episode. And
I'm writing.
yeah, it's not. It's 7 minutes and 42 seconds.
Oh, cool. I can fit that in.
Yeah, and that includes like credits and shit. Yeah, you're gonna watch that thing and be like, "Fuck this, fuck." You're gonna be turning on the light every time you go into your fucking basement, which you probably do already anyway.
Well, they're kick-ass lights down here,
Well,
so yeah.
that's perfect excuse. It's like you always seem to turn the light on before and you start whistling whenever you go downstairs. Well, yeah, because it's awesome. So anyway, that was it. Good episode, and we'll be back. I'll probably we're recording this on Sunday. I'll get this edited and stuff and get it up. I'm finding Thursday's probably going to be our day, and I'll get it up on Thursday. So,
Awesome.
cool beans. I'm cutting it, and we're
And we're out.
and boom.